Hyde asks you to wait outside while he enters the shop. Fila strikes up a conversation with Laddie while awaiting the other's return. The endless stream of words makes you all Fila seems to talk about is Hyde. Nevertheless, she sees Hyde returns, completed couples charms in hand. The crystal charms look as impressive as any you would find in a shop. But Hyde's expression is grim. Apparently, he isn't as impressed by his handiwork as the rest of you. Fila takes one of the charms with a forlorn smile. "I'll wear it to the maiden's ritual," she says quietly. Hearing the carefree woman speak of the goal of your journey, you can't. Fila explains that she'll be conducting them. You wonder if it's all right for them to be gallivanting around like this. Considering, as promised, I'll let you borrow the relic, Fila says, but it's far too important for me to just hand it over. Though it's obvious she's just looking to have some fun with the maiden's relic finally secured, you and your unexpected new allies make for the spire. Fila exclaims in excitement as she lays. You grin, knowing full well that it is, and prepare for departure. You arrive back on Omega Isle. How gloomy, Fila remarks. But her softly spoken words are swept away by the sea breeze. You stand before the maiden's altar again. Lack explains that Laddie couldn't become a maiden because of a... How would you even begin to solve a problem in someone's heart, you wonder, scratching your head in thought? Just as Lack begins to cast a mysterious spell. As if responding to the spell, "Now, go into the light," Lack commands. You do as you're told, having no choice but to obey this. When you come to, you realize that you must have fainted. You're in the spirit spire. What happened, you ask Lack. Go outside and you'll see, it replies. Once outside, you find yourselves in the heart's domain. You stand in awe of the world before you. It's entirely black, as if someone took a brush and filled it from corner to corner with. This is Laddie's heart's domain. Lack explains that you can't believe that this is what's inside Laddie. Laddie's gaze falls to the floor. Lack points south of the spire. Since Lack seems to know the lay of the land, you decide that following its advice is for the best. Oh, this place is seriously weird, huh? A stela carved in the spirit's image. What's it doing here? A shadow suddenly appears. It gazes at you with eerie yellow eyes and is cloaked in a hostile aura. You have no choice but to fight. Show 'em what you got. Teamwork makes the dream work. The shadow vanishes, but you can't shake the feeling that those final words were spoken in a girl's voice. Anxietown is shaped entirely by Laddie's woes. As such, even the most beautiful blossoms in the village have their thorns. Show 'em what you got. The man sighs deeply. When you ask him what's wrong, he laments that he doesn't know what gift will help him win. Hyde would know all about words like that. The man immediately presses Hyde for advice. It's a rare sight to see the attendant get so flustered. For some reason, the man's expression Suddenly, the man lets out a pained scream and collapses. Okay, what in the world happened here? And fight. And fight. Magnificent. Hope you win. You did great. And fight. The woman sighs deeply. When you ask her what's wrong, how can I explain my feelings for him? She ponders aloud. Laddie places her hand to her heart. However, the woman asks, "What's sunshine?" Apparently, they don't have that here. Pure like the woman begins. Then suddenly she contorts in pain as she spits something out. It's a flower bulb, one as big as your fist. Good work. You see a boy searching for something in the bushes. He thinks the feline is hiding somewhere in the village, but seems distraught that he hasn't found it yet. You think it's a great idea, but the boy immediately shoots you down. "My cat, I doubt it's," you begin to say, but stop when you feel Laddie pull on your sleeve. "Near a flower bed," he repeats. As the boy cries, you realize that what pours down is something seems amiss with the village. After speaking with the villagers, you realize they all live in fear of flowers. Perhaps there's something about the flower beds you're missing. Beautiful flowers are in full bloom, though they seem no different than ordinary blossoms to you. The village Laddie cautiously approaches. A disquieting voice rings out just as a shockwave hits you. "That's a heart scar," Lack shouts. "No doubt, it appears to be what's eating away at this world. We have to close it," Fila says. You couldn't agree more, and reach out to touch the scar. A giant shadow appears. Its yellow eyes glare at you, and you draw your weapon as if to deflect that narrowed gaze. And fight! Magnificent. Oh hey, don't worry. Their coffin card being down doesn't mean that character is actually dead. Magnificent. Within the shadow's final words, you sense something. Laddie was born to be a maiden and was prepared to devote herself but her lack of aptitude for the role ever since. Bitterness over her shortcomings has festered within the confines of her heart. The shadow vanishes, and you decide to try and heal the heart scar. This is the reason you brought the Azure Maiden with you to this world. The relic nods, and Fila holds the maiden's relic up to the heart scar. You heal the heart scar, Your mission fulfilled, you decide to return to the world you came from. You see other areas painted black in the distance. Lack says that you'll need permission from Laddie to explore those places. Laddie looks puzzled. Apparently, not even she knows what's going on inside her heart. Lack's strange chant. It seems this altar is the bridge connecting the real world and the heart's domain. You make it safely back to the real world, but can barely wrap your heads around your surreal experience in the heart's domain. Laddie is fast asleep. You can only imagine how spiritually exhausting it must have been for her to be forced to have a change of heart like that. What an adventure, Fila exclaims. Apparently, you thank the Azure Maiden for letting. While doing so, you realize that you ask Fila if it would be possible. She seems unsure at first, but eventually agrees to let you come. I'm back, Fila exclaims cheerfully to the unsurprised. Hyde suggests that you get some rest before the ritual, so you head to the inn. That night at the inn, you get to thinking it's a right to protect the island, one passed down through generations. Laddie, paying you no mind, gobbles down her food, occasionally choking on bread. Well, sweet dreams. Fila and Hyde await you. They tell you that in order to conduct to do so, you must go off the southern shore of the island. A well-maintained fishing boat sits anchored in the water. You glance at the catch on board and deem it acceptable. A crowd of villagers gathers as your party is about to leave Coveton. A villager hands Fila a talisman. He says that it contains a spell to help you along the way to the altar, and a wish for the ritual success. The villagers shower Fila with, it appears, the free-spirited maiden smile. "Thank you for always watching over me," she says, with the same bright smile as always. When you arrive at the shore, Hyde speaks. Now we go underwater. Hyde explains that the talisman the townspeople gave them contains magic that allows. Hyde explains that the temple where the ritual is carried out. Hyde sees that you still have your doubts. "Let me show you instead," he says, then activates the magic talisman. Laddie looks at the water apprehensively, and you can see her pondering her ability. "Stop, we'll drown," Lack shouts, but you pay it no mind. Life seems to be one. Though you're underwater, you can breathe. Laddie stares in wide-eyed wonder at the colorful coral reef and myriad fish swimming about. You find the seabed temple resting quietly at the bottom of the ocean. It's now a peaceful haven for sea creatures. Fortune favors the... From the window, you can see the few rays of sunlight that, despite being submerged, the temple is filled. In her ever-cheerful way, Fila explains that this is where... "Let's get going," she exclaims. Hyde watches as she leads the way, concern apparent in his eyes. A crystal is carved into the stela. The stela is shaped like the azure spirit, guardian of the isle. Two fight as one. Magnificent. The door is sealed. On further inspection, you see word. This must be the trial, Fila murmurs. You decide to look for clues to help her open the door. A fish is maybe I have to do it because it's my trial, Fila says. You decide that this isn't the stela you're looking for and try to find another. Fila gently touches the stela, but the area remains silent. Let me try again, Fila says. She then panics and replaces her hand on the... It appears the stela can be illuminated and darkened by the Azure Maiden's hand. The light dissipates, along with the light of the other stela. It appears you've made a mistake. A temple is carved into the stela. You hear a noise in the distance. It's the sound of the crystal door being unlocked. Past the crystal door is yet another door. On this one is a carving of a temple. You hear a noise in the distance. It's the sound of the temple door being unlocked. There's nothing carved into the door, nor is there. Upon scanning the area, you see another door. Perhaps it's worth looking into. Congrats. There's a map carved into the door. You recognize the pattern from your own map. From behind you. Sounds like we're being invited in, Fila remarks. You all exchange looks before heading toward the noise. When Fila touches the stela, it begins to shake. The maiden steps back, just as the stela transforms into a monster and charges at you. Fight him off. It appears some monsters mimic stela here. Right, you reply. Then steel yourself as you continue your stela search. Fight him off. The stela is shaped like the azure spirit, guardian of the isle. You can see the following words carved into it. Fila, but you don't hear a door open. There must be some other stela you need to illuminate. When you do, you hear a distant sound. There's no doubt the door with the map carving has opened. Excellent. Magnificent. Congrats. A lighthouse is carved in the center of the aisle. A boat is carved in the center of the aisle. The stela is shaped like the azure spirit, guardian of the isle. You can see the following words carved into it. A sun is carved on the east side of the aisle. You wait a moment, but nothing seems to change. There must be other stela you need to illuminate. A moon is carved on the west side of the aisle. You illuminate 2 stela, but the path remains closed. There must be other stela you need to illuminate. Stela gently touches the stela, and it releases a faint light. You can hear something crumble. As if the water isn't bad enough, the water threatens to knock you off balance. But you steady yourselves and prepare for battle. magnificent. Good work. Once the battle ends, the trial in this room seems to be over. You might be able to find the path onward now. The wall itself opens up like a door, revealing a room behind it. You wonder if this is where the water and monster from earlier were hiding. Fight him off. This door has been passed through for the ocean trials many a time. You hear a mysterious voice echoing in your head. And then the door opens, as if inviting the maiden in. You stand before the altar, where the ritual will take place. Grateful for we always had the best conversations, she tells Laddie with a smile. Thank you for showing me a strange new world. She's finally, the Azure Maiden turns toward you with an earnest look in her eyes. Seeing that you mean it, Fila gives a relieved smile. Before the ritual, the two holding the scene before you almost breaks your heart. It's as if the two are saying their Fila climbs atop the altar, and the maiden's relic begins to amidst the dazzling light. The azure maiden turns to you and speaks. With those words, Fila transforms into light and journeys to where the spirit dwells. Her ceaseless smile, the tears on her cheeks, however, tell a different story. The azure maiden's relic clatters to the altar. Fila, the sacrificial maiden's ritual, conducted to protect the eye. You shift your gaze toward Laddie and wonder if she embarked on this journey. A voice breaks the silence. The azure attendant's spiteful. Neither you nor Laddie can hide how shaken the man's sudden transformation has you. You had expected. Your voice quivers as you ask. Hyde tells you that the village forced him to be the maiden's attendant, regardless of his wishes. Attendants must follow the village customs and continue to serve the. Becoming an attendant forced him to give up on his childhood. Because of that, he abhorred the azure. Even so, he continued to play the role of the. Hyde raises his fist overhead but he cannot bring himself to throw it down. The words of the sprightly young. He had been bewitched by her magical smile. The cries of the azure attendant, forever and ever. Hyde says, "Leave me be." Laddie grips Fila's maiden's relic in hand. The azure attendant. When you parted ways, Hyde informed you that there was rumored to be room. You call out to Laddie, who is gazing forlornly at the maiden's relic, and your group returns to your journey. It appears the sea has undergone a change while the route to the western seas has opened. Now you can look for a way onto the isle where the maiden lives. Magnificent. Two fight as one. You discover a shipwreck. You climb aboard and begin searching for anything useful. When you return to your vessel, the shipwreck sinks silently into the sea. Fight him off. Ah, the Your journey across the sea has taken on the West Isle. You will hear the tale of a maiden in red. Very well then, prepare to go ashore. The West Isle's parched, russet-colored expanse greets you. The bones of weaker travelers strewn about it, as both welcome and warning. You dock your ship at the pier and set foot ashore. Laddie takes a deep bow in the direction. You consult your navigation map once more to confirm your location and resolve to head through the gorge toward Hero's Dominion. Magnificent. Don't hold back. Teamwork makes the dream work. Excellent. Laddie appears to have found something on the roadside. Inside the pouch is a simple but beautiful necklace. Laddie's eyes light up at the sight of it. You gently place the necklace around Laddie's neck. Though she initially looks confused, when you say, "It looks nice on you," her cheeks flush slightly and she smiles. A bizarre rock appeared. It seems primed to explode. The bizarre rock transformed into a gold rock. Fight him off. A thief appears. The brigand points at Laddie's simple neck. He continues, insisting in a rather courteous, as the thief would have you believe. He pilfered the bauble from the shop. He grabs for it and tries to wrench it off Laddie's throat. You've no choice but to fight to defend your ally. You did great. You look down at the thief. The brigand seems to regret what he's done and cries back, "Please listen." Honeyed words alone will not let you trust this way. However, the thief does not give up. Practically bawling at this point, he makes a tear-filled appeal. "I just want to make up for the wrongs I've done." You believe the thief's tears of regret are genuine. So you take the simple necklace from Laddie. The thief bows his head deeply, and then you happen to look down and spot a dingy on the back of the charm as a kind of prone to dropping things, isn't he? You utter, somewhat flabbergasted, as you slip the charm into your pack. Fight him off. You make your way through the gorge. Its walls unnerved. You steal only, no one says a word. Isn't that the Dominion? Lack chirps from its resting place in Laddie's hood, breaking the silence. Indeed, the gorge gives. Laddie wipes the sweat from her brow and shuffles toward a nearby rock to sit down. Stop! That's a monster, you shout. Too late to prevent it from attacking poorly. In one swift blow, a wild-eyed boy strikes the monster down. Unfortunately, it seems the enemy was not alone. More of them appear behind you, closing in fast. A man's voice emerges from the helmet and suit of armor before you. Those worthy of being maiden, I know, Gladio. I know what luck. It appears you've bumped into which would make this Gladio fellow, in all the armor, the Crimson Attendant. This is all terribly convenient. You thank the duo for saving Laddie. The Crimson Maiden appears startled by your sudden request. Apparently, a foul beast the Dominion uses, unwilling to let these two out of your sight after such a fortuitous meeting. You agree to help them track the beast down.